Assalamualaikum Salman. Welcome to Campus2Career.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Looking forward to it.
Great. So I just wanted to let's start by you introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about your professional journey so far.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Salman, and currently I'm working as a senior Android engineer at Careem.
Hmm.
My career has been almost 12 and a half years,
Mashallah.
and over the years I've worked for different services-based companies and product-based companies, and yeah, it's been an amazing journey.
That's great. That's great. And you're currently working at Careem, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what's it like working at a service-based company and a product-based company? How do you think that's different?
Yeah. So working at a service-based company is like, you are tackling different projects at different times. You have multiple deadlines and maybe like depending on the client you're working for, the scale or, the scalability and long-term research and long-term stuff for the product may not be a very high level concern. But working at a product based company like Kareem, we have to worry about like एक साथ इतने सारे users आ जाएंगे. We
Hmm.
get so many API calls. We might get incidents. So we have so many like safety kind of things which we need to prioritize. Like in case of incident, how do we respond and how do we shut down services? How do we make sure that business stays up and our services stay live? So this is one of the key challenges, and that's pretty much it, I think.
And in your role as a senior software engineer, आप mainly mobile apps पे कर रहे होते हैं, but are you working on other things as well? Are you involved in backend or other decisions as well?
Yeah. So these days, with the AI boom, as you know,
Hmm.
I feel like today nobody can say I'm just like an Android engineer. I'm just like a
Hmm.
Go engineer. Like these days, I think the boundaries are very like weak, and I think everyone is expected to jump into something.
Hmm.
Like these days, I'm also looking at some of the backend APIs, some transformations, some of the infrastructure, while also keeping my expertise in Android because Android is like the primary expertise for me. So
Hmm.
that is always going to be my first priority. But like I cannot say to my manager or to my team like, okay, I'm not a backend engineer. I'm not going to work on this because that doesn't work anymore.
Hmm.
Like you can use Claude, you can use the tools available, Chat GPT, Gemini, whatever,
Hmm.
and you can get things done. You just need to have a mindset that you have to unblock yourself.
Hmm.
I think that is the most important thing these days. Like, and especially working at Careem, we are working even in such a like geo-distributed teams, and so nobody is always going to be available for you. Like I'm in Pakistan, my teammate might be in Jordan, my teammate might be in Germany, and you need to build a habit of unblocking yourself, working async, and just try to get to the problem and solve it. Like not just wait. Okay, I'm waiting for the back end guy, and like
Hmm.
these excuses, like they seem more and more lame nowadays.
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल yeah, that's great. अच्छा, so you mentioned your expertise lie in Android. So someone who's interested in mobile development, आप क्या recommend करेंगे? Should they lean towards Android, iOS, and then there are cross platforms as well, like Flutter, React Native. What do you think is something that they should be learning?
I think cross-platform mostly like you'll see choti companies hoti hain, like they don't want to invest too much on mobile projects, especially if you're working at service-based companies. So you will find so many projects that earlier on used to be native mobile, but now they are like okay, we want a Flutter app or we want a React Native app, which is fine because for their business use case, the React Native or Flutter gets the job done. But I feel nowadays like again I'm going to do a bit of an AI push. I'm not going to say it's the answer to everything,
Hmm.
but like you can get things done so much quicker.
Hmm.
Okay, I feel like native apps, native technologies might get a boom. And these days we have Kotlin multi-platform, Composer multi-platform. So these platforms are also there. So I would say to someone starting fresh, like don't restrict yourself to Android only. Like just cover iOS native as well. I think you will not find it that difficult.
Hmm.
Like earlier on, let's say when I started my career, I started as an Android engineer, and I always thought I should learn iOS. I should learn iOS. And back then, maybe it was a bit more difficult, but now like you can just prompt a bit and you can get things done on iOS as well.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. So I understand you're also involved in the recruitment process, right? So you do take interviews as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
generally, like, what's the recruitment process like at like companies like Careem, like bigger companies?
Yeah, so basically there are I think 3 to 4 rounds. So the first round is a bit of with the people team. They do some pre-screening and they may give you some questions and answers over the phone or maybe on a meet call, like, and they will just get to know you, get to know your experience, and then you will enter the official interview process. Now I can speak for mobile engineers. So basically we have 4 rounds. So I have conducted the first round and the second round both. So in the first round, we have a general technological discussion. Like, let's say if I'm hiring for an Android engineer, so I will ask some questions, and there is no pre-built template. Like, I have a set of questions with me. I do get around with them, but then I try to see, okay, this candidate is like more experienced in something. So I'm not looking for the by the book answers. I'm looking for situations. I'm looking for scenarios. Like, let's say where you have solved something, because by the book answers anybody can just chat GPT and give it to me, right? So
बिल्कुल.
I want to know what you actually know. Like if I'm hiring for a senior engineer specifically, like okay, let's say I'm hiring a fresher, it's fine because they don't have much experience, तो उनसे इतनी expectation भी नहीं होती है, right? But if you are interviewing a senior engineer, let's say I have interviewed engineers with 10 years experience, and sometimes like it comes across like very bad. And then in that round, we have a small coding session where I give them a problem just to see how they approach it, how they solve it. So that is like the technical interview or the algorithms interview, we call it. इसके बाद there is a system design interview that is mostly for senior roles. So उसमें basically we are giving you a scenario and we ask you, okay, how do you imagine building this system? Not only as a mobile engineer, but as a whole, like engineer on the team who is leading the project or something like that. So okay, we are looking for like, okay, what trade-offs do you have in mind, or like आपको अगर कोई example दीजिए जैसे pagination है और load more है, तो what trade-offs are there? How do you manage it? How do you manage it for a scale of million users versus how do you manage it for a scale of 10 users, right? तो इस तरह से उसकी discussion इसमें revolve होती है. और उसका भी system design का I would say there is no golden path to like success. It is mostly based on experience, and there are a lot of great YouTube videos. Like I myself prepared for it from YouTube, and थोड़ी सी इसमें लग भी होती है. Like okay, let's say आप कोई chat app पे काम कर रहे हैं and you get the chat app system design, so you have a lot of things in mind.
बिल्कुल.
But it's still like it's more of an experience based thing, and you should always ask questions about trade offs even when you're working day to day. So that will build up your skill level. Then the other rounds are like the hiring manager round and uh, a values based round. So they evaluate you on the values. So that's it.
Okay, okay, that's nice. So आपके ख्याल में with the change of AI, and because now अब हर किसी का day to day बहुत फर्क हो गया, right?
Yes.
As opposed to when we started.
Yeah.
So do you think that the recruitment process has evolved or it needs to evolve based on that?
I think part of it has evolved. Like basically, even in my interview when I'm doing a coding challenge, so I would allow the candidate to say, okay, it's fine. You can just search something. You can use a bit of an AI. But like the problem is like my problems will not usually be like something like build a whole system, right? Because I just keep 15 minutes. So it's a very technical problem, like a very small challenge, like anagrams or something like that. So for that, if someone uses AI, I think the point is dead. So what I want to see actually is like how they approach a problem, like what is their mental model. I don't even expect the right solution because 10-15 minutes people are a bit nervous in interview environments, and setting it up, you see a new codility environment, it could be a bit nerve wracking for someone, right?
Okay.
So the idea is to see how they actually approach the problem. Nobody can expect to get a correct answer in a 1 hour interview or a 40 minutes interview, right? So the approach is key. So, and also, as you said about AI, like even in system design, like if you give a system design to AI, like there are so many, AI has such a rich database that it will give you literally all the pros and cons.
Yeah.
But still, you need to find some tricky point and then try to converse with the candidate
Hmm.
Okay, what if I do this? फिर उसमें आप क्या करेंगे? Like,
Hmm.
so there are still like nudges where you can play with it. And in terms of the interview process, yeah, I think it still needs a bit of an evolution,
Hmm.
uh, because now I think it's more and more about how you keep things moving rather than you knowing everything and the solution to things.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Very interesting. Acha, so when you're screening candidates, when you're going through resumes, तो उसमें what are some things that stand out for you? या what are some things that are immediately like यार इसमें ये चीज़ है तो this is an automatic no, or this is something that's really good which is why it's an automatic yes.
Okay, so I honestly like I don't go through the list of resumes like that. Just comes to me filtered.
ठीक है.
But if like if I'm looking for something, I would try to see some like metrics, like numbers.
Hmm.
Like okay, let's say somebody is written I leading a team and delivering these projects, meeting customer requirements. So it's very basic. Like you need to know actual numbers. Like okay, you did this feature and it this did a revenue boost or a 5% performance impact. So numbers, I think, even not me, they will attract the people team or the interviewers, like the people who are filtering out the resumes. So try to make your resumes, I would say, a bit numbers and quantitative based rather than just abstract words. That would maybe make you stand out.
Nice. And LinkedIn, how big of a role does that play in the recruitment process?
Um, I still think like LinkedIn is good. LinkedIn is important, but I still feel you can get away with the average LinkedIn. Like you just go to apply, like your skills would speak a lot more. Like your experiences. Like let's say somebody who has a very beautiful LinkedIn, but the experiences are very basic, so they might still not make you stand out. But still, it has an impact. Like it's like a social image of you in the professional world, right? So I would say keep it a bit up to date. I'm not a very LinkedIn like I'm not going to post daily. Like people, I see people who are like posting so many things daily,
Mm-hmm.
and that is good as well. Like it builds an audience for you.
बिल्कुल.
Uh, but like finding the time can be difficult, right?
Hmm.
Because even with AI, like it's okay we get more done, but then we get more things to do as well.
Hmm.
So,
Expectations change जाते
but yeah, it's important. Like I will not say like don't take it lightly,
हैं.
especially if you're early in your career. Like just try to get it actionable and do more things, and it will hopefully get you some traction.
Okay. What about like GitHub links or any portfolios? There, sometimes people have those and they're added on your resume as well. Do you go through those? Does that impact your, view of the candidate or not?
Mm, I would say it is important, and I think it used to be more important in the past. But like nowadays, like with AI, the problem is like let's say somebody used to build a to-do app, and back in the day, it took them maybe a month or a few weeks, right? But now you can just give a prompt and you can get a to-do app.
Hmm.
And so if somebody's GitHub has these kinds of things, like it's fine, but like it's not adding as much value as it used to do in the past.
Hmm.
So if someone has like, okay, I'm building a custom component for this, which is a very niche problem. Like let's say if an Android engineer is building something to improve the analytics tracking on the composable, like I would be more impressed with that rather than a bit of some not generic apps. So, but I think the role is getting lesser and lesser. Like I would rather interview the person and see okay what they have done. So I don't think I'll be a lot swayed by it.
ठीक है. Fair enough. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So, do you think the expectations of junior roles have changed with the use of AI? Do we expect more from them as compared to what we used to?
Definitely, yes. For junior roles, to be honest, I am also a bit like confused. Like, let's say if I meet someone, so what advice do I give them? Because currently, even in my role, I am in the industry 12 years. So sometimes I question myself as well, like, what is happening? Ye kya ho raha hai? Like everything we are just prompting and we are managing a bunch of agents and we are just pushing things through rather than earlier days, you solved some problem and it actually gave you like a very, value punch, like, okay, I did something special today.
Thrill होता था.
But yeah, there is a thrill of, there was used to be a thrill of solving something. But nowadays, the problem is with juniors, like, most of the things you expect of juniors are like easily manageable by AI. So I think what can make juniors stand out is like being humble and get ready to learn anything, and don't be scared or don't be nervous about unblocking yourself. I worked with some juniors who had a lot of confidence issues, like they used to be like very quiet and waiting for things to come to them
Mm-hmm.
rather than being proactive and jumping at them.
Hmm.
Like especially in remote based environments, like एक तो ये कि सब office में है, तो it's way easier to get things moving.
Hmm.
But like I am at my home, you are at some other remote office, I don't know, we have never met each other. तो वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा कॉन्फिडेंस इशू भी होता है, एक सोशल वो कनेक्शन भी नहीं बनता है लोगों से.
Hmm.
So I feel like the soft skills are now more and more valuable, and they are more and more important. Like trying to say, okay, I'm available, give me something, rather than waiting for things to come.
Hmm.
And I think ये चीजें बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करती है, because the things technical side पे the output that a junior might give, the AI can also more or less give it. So make yourself like presentable, acceptable, ready to dive into situations, because as a junior you may not know anything, but once you jump in you will get out and learn something which can enable and boost your career, I feel.
Hmm. Definitely, definitely. I think that's solid advice. What do you think separates a senior engineer from a junior engineer?
Okay. So I feel like most of the things are like accountability and ownership. Like when I joined Careem, so one of my managers gave me this, I would say, 5 bullet points, and I have them like drilled into my mind. So I joined Careem as a senior software engineer one, which is like a level 9 engineer, and now I am at level 10 engineer. So when I joined, I asked him, I want to get myself promoted. So what advice would you give me? So he gave me a few points, and I tried to just work on them. And I think I got the promotion more or less because of that. And those points are like, first of all, you need to build the habit of critical thinking.
Hmm.
Like, let's say, some senior engineer. So maybe you assume, okay, this is the problem. How would that guy think? Or how would a senior engineer think? So critical thinking is one of the most important things. Then we have like, okay, once you have critical thinking, then you need to have some ownership of the thing.
Hmm.
Like let's say, okay, I need to own this now. I know, okay, how this works, how I am shipping it. So now this is my ownership. And once you own that, then you have to be accountable for it. Like if something goes wrong, if some teams want to make some change in it, so you have to know enough to be able to either give them a yes or a no.
Hmm.
And the last but not the least is the enablement part. Like now you know the things, you own it, you do it everything, but now you enable other people as well.
Hmm.
Like let's say a feature hai, like we used to work on a locations SDK. So earlier on we built it, then we owned it, and then you're accountable for it in a way. So now you enable people, like you enable people to adopt it, to use it, to guide them, to walk them through this procedure. Like okay, how does this work? How they can integrate, take their feedback into account, improve it. So these are some of the things I feel like which is a very important for a senior engineer. Like a senior engineer will jump on something and say, okay, this is my feature, I own it, so I will fix it. If there is a bug, please report to me, and please be always be open to feedback, and don't take things personally. Like अक्सर ऐसा होता है, like we are working with people and कोई PR पे comment आ जाता है
Hmm.
कि what is this rubbish example. So you don't need to take it personally. The guy is not talking about you. It's just a purely professional thing.
Hmm.
So please don't take it personally. And maybe a good advice could be for juniors as well. Like you asked, like don't take things personally at all. Like just try to be professional and get things moving. That's it. I think that would set you up for success, I feel like.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay. The next thing is that university life or culture what different hota hai from a workplace environment, right? I think it's a big
Mm-hmm.
transition. So what skills do you think are important, or what things that juniors need to keep in mind while transitioning into their professional careers that are besides technical skills to aa gayi seekh liya, but I think the way you conduct yourself, that those are things that are very important as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I work, as I told you, I worked at different companies. I have worked at a startup as well. I worked at Systems Limited. I worked at Folio 3 Technologics, and now I'm working at Careem. So each of these companies had a very unique culture. Like in the startup, it was very casual. Like I can just go into the room of the CEO and I tell him this is not working. We need to make this change. We need to do this. For both, ही like open-ended communication. Like bhai bandi, we have it. Like Naveed bhai ये नहीं चल रहा. What is this? ये वो ना.
ठीक
So
है.
it was very very open-ended. Then I went into Systems Limited, and that had a whole proper hierarchy system. Like you are there, then you have a team lead, then there is a manager, and then there is a director, and so on. So वहाँ पे बिल्कुल ही dynamics different थे. And each company had a different channel of communication. Like some people were like hell bent on using email, कि हर चीज email के through होगी. कहीं पे we were just casually messaging each other. कहीं पे Skype चल रहा है, कहीं पे क्या चल रहा है. At Careem we are using Slack. But the thing is like the way to prepare yourself from university to like a work environment is just be honest and transparent, and don't like twist words, because थोड़ी सी we have a habit of playing a bit of politics as well. मैंने ये कर लिया, I did this so much. Just be honest with yourself and be transparent about things. Like okay, I'm जैसे अक्सर होता है कि लोगों के पास time होता है and they are free, but they will not say okay मैं free हूँ. So this just we say okay, I don't have much work, please give me work, please assign me something. And as a junior, I think the more you put yourself available to challenges, थोड़ा tough होगा definitely. Like it will get you stuck in different issues, but like the more you learn, the better engineer you will become. So yeah. And I think organizational culture also matters a bit in this. Like कहीं पे like it's a very casual scene and कहीं पे काफी formal होता है. So just adapt yourself to it, see okay how things are moving, and try to place yourself in a strong form. That's it, I would say.
Nice, very nice. Okay, I'm going to transition over to a rapid fire. I'll give you two options. You can just choose whichever one you prefer, right?
Okay.
Okay. Consistency or motivation?
Consistency.
Technical excellence or business impact?
Business impact.
Service based or product based?
Product based.
Code reviews or pair programming?
Pair programming.
Nice. Startup or big tech?
Startup.
Clean architecture or it depends?
It depends.
Build fast or build right?
Build right.
Passion projects or lead code?
Passion projects.
Internships or personal projects?
Internships.
Communication skills or technical skills?
Communication skills.
Learn one thing deeply or many things broadly?
Learn one thing deeply.
Remote or office?
Remote, but I would say hybrid.
Ah, nice, nice, very nice. There are just a few that are like short, open-ended ones. Yeah. Okay. What's the biggest misconception students have about software engineering?
Okay. I think I need to think about it because student life was way, way back. Yeah, I think one of the biggest misconceptions that personally I had is like people in the industry like know how everything works. Like nobody, like I have even worked with engineers who are there for 15, 20 years, and sometimes they are still figuring things out. So the perception like okay, like once I like let's say when you're a kid, okay how to do this, how to build this thing, and it's a very complete process. Like okay, I know this, so I can do XYZ now. But as a professional, I feel like there is never something you can say okay, I know how this works, because the situation changes. Like it depends how many consumers you have, what is the load, how many people will use the app simultaneously, and so on. So I feel like this opened my mind a bit. Like nobody has it figured out, and everybody is figuring out as they go. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. Okay. One programming habit every developer should build.
Hmm. I think everybody working on the same project should have the same settings on the IDE where the indentations are the same. Because if somebody opens up PR, the indentation changes, and the changes are actually 5 lines, but like the PR shows 100 lines are changed. So I think that could be a P0. I think.
One soft skill every engineer underestimates.
Mm, I would say like just keep your Slack or whatever tool you're using. Like just go through most of the things you have, because I work with so many people and they have so many unread messages. And if I see this myself, I will go crazy, because this means I have to attend to so many things. So just
Uh,
try to stay on top of things and don't let them build up. Like even for me personally, what I do is I don't keep my, especially my work email inbox bloated. Like I would usually have 5 to 10 emails, and the rest I just keep labeling them. Like, okay, if this is related to that thing, I just label it that, and if I need to address it, it will be in inbox. But if I have addressed it, so I will just move it on the side, so the view is clean, and then you can focus on what you want to do. Like
hmm,
this, unread things. This just for me, it creates a mess, and I don't think I'll be able to work properly if I have so many things to attend to.
too much clutter. Nice.
Yeah.
One quality you look for when mentoring someone.
I would say like they should be able to unblock themselves in a way like, okay, like let's say if I'm working with someone, I'm mentoring them, and they come to me and they say, okay, like a very basic thing, like you can do a Google search and you can find out, or you can just do a Claude prompt and find out. But they come to me and they ask me that question, like that annoys me very much. Like I would say, you can just check the code or do XYZ and you will get the answer. Just come to me with a problem that you cannot solve.
Hmm.
Don't just come to me with a very basic problem. Like let's say I am giving you this project to overview, understand, and then you come to me at bullet point one. Like what's the point? Then if I want to, if I'm putting you there, I want you to go at least 10 levels deep,
Hmm.
and not come to me with like just the first issue you encounter. So
Hmm.
just exhaust all your options and then come to me. Even if it's a basic one, but you prove me, okay, I've exhausted all my options. Then it could be a documentation issue or something. Then okay, I understand and I can take ownership. But if someone just comes to me again and again with very basic things, then I would not be happy to mentor them at all.
Okay, great. Biggest green flag in a candidate.
Honesty and transparency. Like I have seen resumes for Android engineers who say Jetpack Compose. I am a very advanced Jetpack Compose, but they are unable to explain the side effects, like the launch effect and stuff. So just to try to do things that you write in a resume that you actually know. Like I remember a scenario where one of my teammates interviewed a candidate and we just discussed, okay, like how do we rate him and all that. And he said to me like, I'm actually going to just reject him because he wrote Jetpack Compose on his resume and he didn't know a thing about it. So some people can be that level of annoyed as well. So you just need to be okay. Like if I'm saying Jetpack Compose, at least I should know the ABC of it. And if you're saying I am an expert or I'm an advanced level in Jetpack Compose, just know what advanced level means. It saves the times of both the candidate and the interviewer both as well.
Nice. And the biggest red flag in a candidate.
Mm. So I did some interviews and I gave them some life challenges, and I found out somehow that they were like cheating in the interview, right? Like it becomes obvious. Like if you have taken a few interviews, you will know, okay, if someone is doing some shady thing. So please don't do that. Please just say to me like, okay, I don't know this, or maybe just try to work on a rough solution, because you have gone through 4 years of university education or whatever. You're working in the industry for 5 years. So if you are unable to think about an anagram algorithm on the fly, then I don't think anybody should hire you. So just at least try to do an honest attempt. I would rather take an honest failing attempt than a cheating but passing with flying colors attempt.
Hmm.
And eventually, like these things get found out later in the later stages. Like in the system design, they might get stuck. Some people are smart; they can get through this. But like, please just be honest and transparent. Don't try to hack your way out of it.
Mhm.
And inshallah, the best things will happen for you.
Perfect. That's wonderful. I think I just want to conclude with leaving the floor to you. That what is some closing advice that you want to give to fresh grads or even just young professionals, people that are starting out in their journey? Anything that you'd like to say to them?
I would say like I feel like these days a lot of people coming in have a sense of entitlement. Like okay, we have done graduation, we are like let's say one of the top universities, and we are like we have good grades. So there, I feel like there is a sense of entitlement. Like people come in with checklists, like, okay, I have done this, I have done this, so I deserve a huge reward for this, right?
Hmm.
But I think like life does not work that way. Like you don't need to prove and have checklists for anybody. You just need to see the other person. Like let's say I'm working for Careem or I'm working for anyone, even like someone who comes at your home and fixes your door. They solve a problem for you and you pay them for it.
Hmm.
So it's purely transactional. So there should not be like a sense of entitlement.
Hmm.
Just try to see how you can solve the problem for the other person and make yourself so valuable that they pay you whatever you want. Like that's the key. So try to make yourself like don't feel entitled. Like okay, I have done this, I have done this, I deserve this. Just try to think in a way like okay, this guy wants to solve this problem and I can solve this problem in a way better way.
Hmm.
So that's how you get hired. So just try to keep this mindset, and just like I said, like try to unblock yourself. Don't get stuck in very basic things. Like try to go as deep as you can before reaching out to your seniors or wherever you're working, your mentors or whatever. Because the deeper you go, the more knowledge you will acquire, rather than just getting stuck in the very basic level semantics. Like okay, this is not happening, this is not working. Just go a bit deep. Challenge your mentor as well
Hmm.
to train you better, rather than making it easy for them as well. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's solid advice. I think overall in this entire podcast, we covered a lot of things that would give really valuable insights to a lot of people, and not just fresh grads, but people in any point in their professional journey. So I think it was wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much for taking out the time.
Thank you so much, Kulsum.
Thank you.